Hey guys, it's Barrett with the Gimmick Camper. This week we're going to be talking about 12-volt distribution panels. You know, whether you're doing a van build or you're modeling an old camper or you're just trying to add some 12-volt circuits to a rig, these 12-volt distribution panels can be very helpful. So I have had a 12-volt distribution panel in the front of my camper with my electrical components for a long time because it's a really easy way to add 12-volt circuits. However, I was watching Butch Cassidy's channel on building out a schoolie, and I noticed in his video he was talking about how they added multiple 12-volt panels whenever they're building the schoolies because it kept down on running multiple long strands of wiring, and that made a lot of sense to me. So why are we adding a 12-volt distribution panel in our camper when we already have one? When thinking about my situation, I was starting to think, just how could I essentially restrict my parasitic draws in the camper whenever I'm not using it? And then power the components that I want to when I want to. So if it's wintertime, my solar's not getting a lot, I can still keep power to certain things. Mainly to power my InstaConnect cellular router, as I have always on internet in my camper, and this does take a little bit of 12-volt power. So why is this important when I'm not in the camper? Well, it's important due to the fact that I have a Blink camera system as well, and that's set up in my camper, and that works on the Wi-Fi. So I park my camper at my neighbor's house, and I like to keep an eye on it. As you know, we live on a fairly busy street. Most of the time, my 300 watts of solar does keep the batteries pretty fully charged. And there's always been 1 or 2 times every year in the winter when my 2 line energy batteries just went dead in the wintertime. I did add a third battery in this capability to turn off unwanted electricity through a series of bus bars and cutoffs as well. So which power distribution panels did I install? Well, I was initially looking locally for just a regular 12-volt distribution panel like I have in my front bay. However, I was unable to find one locally, so I had to start looking on Amazon. And when I was looking there, I started seeing other things that I found that could also satisfy my needs and possibly have a little bit better aesthetic and maybe even a little bit more functionality. So I ended up ordering this from Nilight. It's a Nilight rocker switch, which essentially functions as a distribution panel, but you do have more control over each circuit as you can turn it on or off on the panel. There are also some built-in USB plugs and a built-in 12-volt socket as well. They come in a couple of different backlit options, but I chose blue. I really like the choice that I made to go with this, but it did come with some additional issues which we'll now discuss. The only drawback that I could see initially when going with this type of setup is that the backlighting and the built-in voltage meter do have some electricity and therefore do theoretically increase a little bit of parasitic draw. I actually thought about disabling the voltmeter and the light, but I decided not to, as the LED lights on this use a very negligible amount of power. The biggest issue that I ran into with this choice was the installation. And the installation, you know, shouldn't be bad, but my RV wall is about 2 inches deep. And that mixed with the fact that they ran the sewer ventilation pipe right where I wanted to put this thing made it a nightmare just to mount it. I was able to get it to work, but I did have to patch a little piece of the panel in there because I was afraid I was going to hit the sewer pipe, so I had a little bit of an oopsie. But it's better than cutting into the sewer pipe oopsie. And then whenever I put it into place, it wouldn't fit in the wall because the wall wasn't deep enough. So I did have to make a 3/4 inch bezel out of some 3/4 inch lumber and just to mount that to give it a little bit of space behind there so that the wires would fit behind the unit. So as far as the functionality, this setup's worked just how I envisioned it. I have wired the following things into the rocker switches: my router for my InstaConnect, my Lippert Flow, and the USB plug that I mounted a little bit lower down the wall because my daughter, she likes her heated blankets, and I got her a 12-volt heated blanket that she can use when she sleeps on the couch because that's what her bed is whenever we're on the road. I also have my Blink module for my Blink cameras mounted in this cabinet and plugged directly into the USB outlet on the front panel. So I'm happy with this product, and I'm really glad that we decided to go this route. We have been using this for about a year, and it's worked out really good, and I'm really happy with the progress. And as far as this product goes, that's really all I have to talk about, but we did make a lot of electrical upgrades, which we'll be talking about here in the near future. I just had a few things that I wanted to get the kinks worked out of it first, but I'll show you what we did with the rest of the electrical system here pretty soon. But thanks guys for following us. Thanks for being a part of our family, and be sure to like and subscribe if you're not, and follow us around for next week's video.
Do not forget to hit that subscribe button.